light is coming from this direction, so I'm trying to make sure I don't put any cast shadows on this side. So over here, the cast shadows go in this direction, and the skull is casting a shadow onto the rocks, so I can put some cast shadows on this side, as long as it looks like it's coming from a cast shadow from the skull. This is like some perspective stuff, so like you should know if like if you see the line on here, if it's on this cylinder object, if it's tilted this way, the curves will go this way, and if it's tilted this way, the curves will go this way. So that's kind of what I'm doing, this way for this one, the other way for that one. And I'm not sure how realistic I want the horns to be. The whole thing's kind of cartoony, but I don't know. And I'm losing the drawing and I'm finding the drawing. I'm kind of just, I'm doing a lot of the squint test. I'm looking at my source material and trying to get the major shadow crevices and stuff that I see when I squint. Then I'm looking at my drawing and I kind of want to see the same thing more or less. Like there's lots of teeth in there, but I'm not going to try to render all of those now. I just want the major shadows. And this is a hard pastel. This is a soft one. I guess this would count as hard, the pencil. And I'm thinking, because I want this to be a complementary color scheme, the thing I'm going to have to start figuring out is how do I start adding yellows in here, because I want it to be the complement of yellow, violet. It's actually kind of more of a blue violet, so maybe I want it to be yellow orange instead of lemon yellow. So let me find a pastel that looks like that. So maybe this, it's kind of ochre-y. So the light, for the most part, is pretty warm. So I think maybe that's too intense. Ooh, that's pretty intense too. They're both intense. And I don't want to smudge with this because it has all the purple in it and it'll just muck it up. So this is kind of clean. And I hope you can tell I'm ignoring the detail. Um, I'll post the source material so you can see what I'm looking at. There's lots of detail in here. There's lots of little specks of like dents and like grooves and stuff, and I'm squinting and drawing what I see when I squint. And I'm letting it mix in. I know this is going to mix in with the white. So I'm layering. I'm not like in coloring book mode where I just fill in this shape over here and fill in this shape. I'm stacking layers. Have to get out of the coloring book way of thinking. And it slowly should get tight. You don't want it to get tight too soon. I don't like to get tight until way past the second half of the drawing. I like to just block things in, just kind of comfortably figure out my light masses and shadow masses and my general color scheme. I'm not really at all concerned about detail. I mean, detail's nice, but the more I kind of think of it like this big massy stuff I'm doing is like my bed that the detail will sit on, and the better I have the big shapes figured out, the better the little details will click into place. So if you start putting in detail now, then you're not sure if everything lines up with one another, all the details, and then everything will get stiff, and then you'll start tiptoeing around all the little precious detail spots that you made. You'll never want to, like, you know, wipe it away at any point. I'm trying to keep the color scheme simple. I mean, so far, what have I got? I used a little bit of the blue. I forget which blue I used for the eyes. And then I used this purple for the background mostly. And then white. And then I put a little bit of the brown. This is like a really dark, it's not black. It's like a really dark umber. I'm not using any black. So that's it. That's my color scheme. So it's basically a complementary, more or less. And then I'm debating, like, what do I do with him? Because he has green and then blue. Like, I don't want to get too complicated. I might simplify the green into just making it look like it's grayish purple because it's like in the shadows there. I don't know. I might put a little bit of green. I'm okay with little areas of other color that depart from the color scheme, the main color scheme of complements. I just don't want it to depart too much. And I was thinking doing a vignette. So maybe I should start. Do you know what a vignette is? When you kind of have like shadows in the corners. Is this the right color? No, that's the blue. You know, you kind of see vignettes on old photographs. I was just thinking maybe I should start putting that in. I don't know if I'm left-handed or right-handed. And at a certain point, I'm going to want to spray fix this. Okay, so I hope you... I didn't talk about this. So you see, every time there's a shadow, I'm taking the background and I'm putting it into the shadow. Because that's what happens in reality. Especially on white objects, they reflect the environment. So I'm taking a little bit of this everywhere. There's a shadow. And again, it's going to get covered up, but I'm just trying to figure out what this looks like. I'm trying to get the main shadow scheme in here. See the shadow on the rock here has purple in it, and that line is supposed to be the core shadow. I'm trying to figure out the core shadow for this guy because he should have one on here. In the model, if you remember, I put just flat pieces of paper, so I'm kind of making up the roundness out of my head here. It's not that hard. It's like it'll basically just be like that, and then a core shadow. Something like that. And then this one might have a thinner core shadow, maybe. And I'm okay if I go over. I mean, that ear is supposed to be bright white, but I know I'm going to layer it later, so I'm not like super crazy concerned that it doesn't look bright white. Because I'm already thinking in layers. My vignette's going to kill my cast shadows over here. Oh well. And I'm going to stop this at the 20-minute mark. Maybe work on it some more and then come back, show you what I've been doing.